I met Katherine in 2012. So we've worked together 5.5 years. Worked, I think, in every dimension that she has offered. So I feel more expanded, more secure. You can't be expanded if you don't feel secure. More cleaned out of things that I needed to face and understand and let go of. And so when we do that inner work, then we have this much greater capacity, I think, for love. And the freedom to expand. I can break it down into more specific growth patterns, I suppose. But the largest thing is I was never wanted to die with regrets. It's been a desire of mine forever. And I'm closer to that. I'm closer to where I may not like everything I did, but it doesn't weigh, I don't carry it, and I feel so much more joy. Attribute it to the last 5 years of work with Katherine and the way she integrates so many systems. In fairness, you know, so I had crossed the 60 line when I met her, and I am a therapist, and of course I've been in therapy, and I knew the Enneagram, so I had a lot of rich work, inner work, and exposure to fine teachers before meeting her. But my goal to expand that capacity to love and tolerance and self-acceptance has just grown and grown with the privilege of working with her. The metaphor has been used a lot, but the Enneagram is like a key to unlock so much of our own habits and motivations and understanding of our true gifts, as well as what is unessential. So it's no doubt that it is useful to all people that are willing to pay some attention and give some effort to that system. I wanted to say about Katherine's workshops, when I mentioned key and the lock. In her workshops, often she has offered slide presentations. They're just beautiful. And she really emphasizes that we're all looking for the key that unlocks our own true self. So what do we learn? And what did I learn with Katherine? Tons, right? But what really one of the foci is communication. So from my perspective as being a 9, I learned a lot about how my spontaneity gets stuck and all the ways that I would freeze. So one of the things, whether it's with friends or family or clients, I feel much more capacity to offer that spontaneous response. And so where does that come from? It comes from self-trust and having our become more transparent and aware of the fears, which goes back to the power of the Enneagram, right? But our motivations and our fears and our blocks become more and more transparent at deeper and deeper levels. And it affects, for me, and I think everyone, across the board, our capacity to be with others in authentic exchanges. Speaking only from the way I was created in this form, but I'm much more at ease in groups. So that opens up many more conversations. I fear less being cut out of groups. Now these are all type 9 fears, or social instinct, which would be my dominant instinct if people are aware. this other type of drive, social self-preservation or the one-to-one bonding. So mine is to fit into groups, and so working with that, when you can express yourself more freely, it opens that pathway for accepting others and knowing how to make oneself heard, certainly did me. And to get your work out there, feel like you're communicating what you value and what you feel you want to offer the world more clearly. So if I'm in a group, I was yesterday, and we were talking about all the children that have died, not children, but young adults and all ages that are dying in our community from the opioid addiction. I could express it with coherence, and all of that stemmed from fine-tuning, really fine-tuning, where do I block the spontaneity and what fears block that. So the mega result from the fine-tuning and the deep inquiry of what the fears are. I would have had then come home to like 1,000 more self-doubts. I can still come home to some self-doubts and, oh, what could have been different, but it's not like the echo chamber. So much is in the moment, so much more. It's so wonderful when you have an experience where, you're in the same experience suddenly, and then you see yourself expressing, or in some way, whatever our growth challenge has been, managing it without the restrictions and constrictions. And I think that anyone that would learn from Katherine's classes or the material that she's produced would have that experience, would have the opportunity, and discover that it takes so much less of a toll and is done with maybe happiness and joy and fun. And I think that's very real expectation of good work in the therapies that come through Katherine's work. The benefits, I think, of the workshop is that they were very carefully planned. It took me a while to realize Katherine really wants the students to get what she has prepared. Not that it was hard to see, but it was hard for me to get that if I stepped away, she was waiting for me, not just going on with the class. So it's very personal for each student. You meet so many interesting people there, a real diversity of individuals that would attend her workshops. That was my experience. But what I also loved was when you have those shared experiences within a training, then if you're in coaching with Katherine or someone else in that workshop even, you have that shared experience that you can refer back to and unpack it. So whether it's online classes and there's an exchange, or in a real, in-person workshop, there's all that material in private coaching that then you can talk about and look at how you responded and what that teaches us about ourselves and helps us put together, take in new aspects of us. So being with the group, enormously valuable. It took me a while to recall when you said, your first experience. I wasn't going to tell you about my life before Katherine, but then I thought, oh yeah, there's that wonderful thing where I knew I wanted to tap into that joy. Isn't that beautiful?